Okay, I've had my first question via Twitter, so thank you Zagcat. The question is, are you a residential winter and then cruiser, or residential all year round? And if former, then car parking issues? I've been on this boat that I own currently for about 3 years, and I consider myself a constant cruiser. I start off over in Rickmansworth, maybe, and then cruise. Takes me about a year to cruise all the way through London, all the way up the Lee to the Stort, to maybe Ware or something like that, and then turn round and then go back. You can take a year going all the way across London, or you can go all the way across London and back in a year. Sometimes, as the winter approaches, it gets a little bit grim down on the towpath, and you know, I have solar panels trying to power my boat, so you don't get much light in the solar panels. So at times during the harshest of the winter, I will put my boat in a marina. It's usually the same time everybody else is doing it, so I always book you know, a month or two for the harshest of the winters in a marina. And for that I've stayed at Tring, I've stayed at Apsley, I've stayed at Willow Tree Marina, I've stayed at Packet Boat, and I've also stayed at Roydon Marina, Roydon Village Marina. That is usually the best way I have found to do it. Now with car parking, usually you can park in the marinas that you stay in. When you're cruising through London, it becomes a bit of an issue. So my recommendation is leave your car out on the periphery somewhere near a tube station so you can travel back for it if you need it, or just work out a different way to work so that when you're in the summertime and you're on your boat and you're moving around, you maybe use a bicycle to get to work or use public transport and you don't need your car. Okay, hope that helps. A question here from Dolly Rocker 40. That's an excellent name. Question: would you ever want to live back in a house, or do you love the freedom more? No, I would not want to live back in a house for two reasons. One, because I would have to rent again, and renting is just dead money. You're basically paying somebody else's mortgage. If I owned a house, it would be different, but why would I buy a house? I own a home and it's on the water and it moves. I think some of the benefits to living on a boat really is if you don't like your neighbours, you can move. You're close to the water, you're close to nature, you're part of a community of other like-minded individuals who are all feeling the squeeze, who all don't want to rent, who are all trying to find alternative ways to live. And of course you meet some really, really funky people. You meet a few weird ones too, but we're all entertaining in our own ways. A question here from Baritone, or, oh sorry, I'm not reading that right, Baritone JP1. Where would a person who lives across the big pond start if that person wants to come over for a canal holiday? Well, there are all sorts of places up and down the canal that will rent canal boats. Do a bit of online research and then just pick the most picturesque place in England where you'd like to go for a canal boat holiday. The canal system is extensive. It runs right from the south. You've got the K&A, runs from Bristol into London. You've got the K&A is the Kennet and Avon, runs all the way into London. You've got the Grand Union Canal, runs north up to Birmingham. You've got the rivers as well. You've got the River Thames, the River Lee, the River Stort. Many, many different connections. You've got connections out into the Norfolk area, the Norfolk Broads. Way up north you've got canals that go into Wales, canals that go up into Scotland and beyond through the Pennines. So just do a bit of research and find the most picturesque place you would like to be in England or Scotland or Wales, and then find a canal boat company where you can rent, and then just do that part of the system in the summertime. A question here from Gareth Pugsley. How do you get internet on your boat? Where did you get your R.A.F jumper? My R.A.F jumper. Do you mean one of these? My R.A.F jumper. What advice do you wish you'd have had before you got your boat that you have learnt the hard way? Okay, well, there's a lot of questions there. What is this? Two or three questions. One about a jumper. How to get internet on your boat? Well, When I first lived on a boat, I attended lots of different courses about how to get a laptop and an internet card and a signal aerial and all these different things. Now it's pretty easy with a smartphone. What you can do is you can set up your smartphone to be its own Wi-Fi hotspot, and then you can just use that. Although sometimes you do encounter signal problems. Let's face it, you're in a steel box, and sometimes I see people moving to the front of their boat or to the rear of their boat to get a good signal. So do your research, you know, try and find a internet provider or a mobile phone company that will give you, you know, a good deal. I make sure that I'm paying enough monthly to encompass all the data and everything that I need. What advice would I have given myself back when I bought my first boat so I didn't have to learn it the hard way? Well, the hardest part really about living on a boat and getting advice from different sources is that everyone will tell you a different way of how to do things. I want to heat my boat. Ah, well, there's gas, there's coal, there's wood, there's a burner, there's electrics. You can have 24 volt, you can have 12 volt, you can have mains electric, you can power it with a jenny, you can plug it into shoreline. Many different ways of doing it. There's all these different kinds of systems, and at the end of the day you've just got to choose one. And I think if I'm honest, I really should have, you know, maybe listened a little bit more to expertise. I should have really written down things a little bit more so that it all went in, and I should have respected the people who are on the waterways before me, because let's face it, they have a lot to teach us. Every time I meet an old boater, I always want to learn more from them, and probably that's the best advice I can give to anyone who wants to live on a boat. When someone says, you know, don't take your boat backwards through a lock because it's dangerous, don't just stand there and go, well, you know, I'll find out the hard way, thank you very much. Listen to them, okay? They may be saving your life. Anyway, back to the jumper, Gareth. My R.A.F. jumper I picked up in a little Army and Navy store on the A5 somewhere up by Cricklewood. It cost about £14 and it was exactly what I wanted. It's made of pure wool. If you wash these things, you have to wash it in cold water. Dry it flat if you can, because these things will shrink up about the size of this if you're not careful. Don't ever wash these on a hot wash. And also make sure you get one of these jumpers from those sort of Army and Navy places. If it's a dark blue, it's for the Navy. If it's a kind of a light grey, then it's R.A.F. What else? Last winter I was in an H&M shopping for pants, and I saw that they had some of these, well, these actual sort of, they had these sort of light grey ones, looked exactly like this. They were selling them in H&M, and I thought maybe that's a fashion thing. Every so often they come around, I suppose. Maybe they're having a little bit of resurgence. Maybe the military kind of looking kind of jumper is coming back into fashion, and that's nice. But I didn't want to buy it from H&M because I just know that it's probably not made of pure wool. It's probably some kind of a blend, and it may have been made by little children in somewhere like Cambodia. If it's a genuine one, it will have one of these. A Jersey man's heavy blue-grey jumper, round neck. This is an extra thing that's been put in by the previous owner. It kind of just tightens it a bit. And if you look, there's a place down there for your name and number, if you want to use that, that is. A question here from Steve. Great vlog, love your delivery. Have you a galvanic isolator fitted to your boat, and if not, why? Thanks, Steve. I do have a galvanic isolator fitted to my boat. Oh, my bra is falling down. Thanks for watching, thanks for all your questions. Don't forget to contact me on Twitter at Myles McDowell, and just make sure you add Cap Vlog when you're sending me your questions via Twitter. Any other questions that end up on my videos, I will try and get round to answering the best I can. So that's all for now. Thank you. Bye bye.